Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about something very important. And that's always being ready for the worst. And having a proper escape plan. Now I'm not talking about walking around being paranoid of everyone you meet. No. Not at all. However, I firmly believe you should never hand over power over your life to no man or woman that's walking the face of this earth. That's just a recipe for trouble. Here's what we know. Narcissists and other toxic people love to get you to lower your defenses so you will fully trust them. They will manipulate you and the relationship. So you will do things like putting them on the deed to your house. Or putting them on your bank account. Or moving to another city or state because they said it will make them happy. All of this is done to prevent you from having an escape route when they begin to remove their mask and show you what an evil person they really are. They know by the time you've figured it all out. Your names are legally on so many documents and paperwork. It feels like almost impossible to get out of it all. And that's exactly what they want. Narcissists and other toxic people want you trapped. They want you trapped so they can abuse you until you're either dead. Or until you can't take it anymore and lash back out at them and end up in jail as a result. So what's the answer to this when meeting new people in your life? Well, the best way to make sure this doesn't happen to you the first time or again, is to never allow yourself to get into a legal spot you can't get out of. However, that looks in your life. Now I know that men and women can and do have the same capacity for evil and narcissistic personality disorder. And both men and women can and do end up with toxic narcissistically abusive partners. But sadly we live in a world where if a man doesn't want to put his name on the dotted line with a woman, he's getting cold feet. He's not committed enough. Or he must not really be in love. And other shaming language in order to guilt him into signing his life away. And because of this the marriage rate is dropping dramatically. Because there are a lot of men that know nothing about narcissistic abuse, that are just saying to themselves, in this world we live in, marriage and other legal entanglements are just too dangerous. Now as women are now dominating in numbers regarding college graduates. And if you go to any big company, most of the managers are women. They are becoming targets to narcissist men too. But still and yet, we don't live in a culture where it's celebrated that men take women for everything they have. But anytime a woman takes a man to the cleaners, there are high fives all over the place. Now I would like to tell the women that listen to my channel, that find help in the videos that I do. Men are going to need women like you to carry the torch to say enough is enough with this bull crap. Because the more good men are shamed into bad marriages, the more they will lose who they are and come out a different person than when they walked into that marriage. And they might not trust you, the good women, when they meet you. We are needing you good women to stand in the gap and say what is right. Because though good women get taken pretty badly in marriages, still the numbers bear out that most women get custody of their children. It's only a small fraction of the time that men, no matter the circumstances, get full or joint custody. What this means is most of the time, men lose out more than women. Despite the ratio of narcissistic men and women in my opinion is even. And it only happens this way because this is how our society has set up marriage and legal relationships. If it were the other way around, narcissist men would be taking good women to the cleaners each and every day. And there would be TV shows celebrating the man that hurts women. So what will speaking out about this do? It will tell good men and women around the world, it's okay to protect yourself. It's not only okay, it's your right and duty as a human being to protect yourself. Both men and women have the right to control the money they earn. And they shouldn't have to hand it over to their partner like they were their pimp. Because when you're dealing with a narcissist spouse that is controlling your life mentally, physically, and financially, they are acting like they are your pimp. They make you feel as if you can't make choices and decisions on your own. And that if you sign this document, Or you give them all of your money. Things will be rosy. But in reality, it's all a brainwash con. To make things hard for you to leave once you realize what an evil reptile you're really with. Here's what we know. Narcissists and other toxic people love to take the best thing about you and make it seem like it's your worst attribute. So if you're good with your money, they will make you feel like a dummy with money. And this is all done on purpose so you fall for the scam. So you sign your name on a joint checking account. All in the name of they can do the household accounting better than you can. And they will make sure the household finances are in order. Don't fall for the trap, ladies and gentlemen. Don't fall for it. If someone cares about you, the last thing they will try to do is con you into handing over everything you have. Someone that cares about you might say, "Have you thought about doing this or that with your money? It might be a good financial move for you. It's something to think about." They will say that because they care. Not trying to rip you down so you fall for the "let's get a joint checking account" scam. So you won't have any wiggle room to leave once they start abusing you. Because for both men and women victims, that's what it's all about. It's about control over your life. And people this has never happened to. Or people that never grew up in a narcissistically abusive home, don't understand why and how you can fall for this. But trust me, you're not dumb or stupid for going along with this. Because let me tell you what. You didn't know better. No one told you. You were good enough and you don't have to listen to some nonsense some reptile is trying to con you with. Plus, I will let you in on a little secret. I believe healthy people get taken all the time by this. But just don't know it even happened because they know nothing about narcissism or narcissistic abuse. Because we live in a world where narcissism and taking people for what they have is king. And they might chalk it up to, well, it takes two to tango. And I have my part of the blame. And because healthy people may have family that can rally behind him or her to regroup. It takes the sting out of what just happened. So they can start anew and move forward. Those of us that grew up in narcissistically abusive homes, or that once we got taken for the first time by a narcissist and stumbled upon this information, know exactly what these evil reptiles are all about. And they are nothing but scam artists, looking for good-hearted, good-natured people to control. Now if you ask me, do you believe in marriage? I would normally say, yes, I do. In the traditional sense. But the rules and laws have made that impossible. Along with the brainwashing. Yes, that's right. The brainwashing that is put on TV all day every day that's teaching people how to behave like money-hungry lunatics. And because of that, signing your name on the dotted line hands all of your life control over to the other person. And you have to just hope and pray they don't abuse you. Because if they do, you're stuck. You are stuck big time. Same thing with joint checking accounts. Putting both your names on a car. Or the deed to your house. It's a recipe for disaster. Because when you're signing such documents, that's like saying I trust you 100%. And I will tell you something. Trusting any human being 100% is dangerous. Because they are human beings and are flawed. And by doing so, you don't have any checks and balances in case one of those flaws show themselves. You see, in government, supposedly, not just one person can make all the choices and has access to all the money. Because when that happens, it's called a dictatorship. And even if this person started out good, they can get drunk with power over time. Because human beings are flawed. Even really good ones. So because of that, there must be checks and balances. And it's these checks and balances that provide proper eject plans if an idea or deed goes off the rails, so to speak. This checking of bad behavior creates the needed balance. Well, this is the same in a relationship. If you have control over what you do and earn, and the other person has control over what they do and earn, no one person can rule the other. And you have a lot less chance of people getting drunk with power. Because this can happen to even those that came from healthy homes. Because they are quite simply human. But society, television, and movies have taught you the exact opposite. And it's taught you these things for a reason. Take a look around you. It appears that more and more kids have been raised in messed up broken homes. And more than likely subject to narcissistic abuse. They are put on every drug known to man. And become a mess sadly when they become an adult. Marriages are down. Divorces are up. And scamming good people is on the rise. And you will never see these things called out on television. You will never see those that have the power to shape and mold our culture. Try to do anything good to make it so everyone gets a good dose of positive information on how to interact and treat one another. And because of that, it should tell you loud and clear. This is all by design. Having broken homes and broken lives is part of the plan to not have great minds and thinkers and doers in our society. And you make it all happen by flipping a switch in the evil people's minds to become super evil. And conditioning those that are good to just go along with it. And that if you don't trust this evil reptile, there's something somehow wrong with you. And when that's beat in your head long enough, you start going with what the Matrix is telling you. And you have no idea you're living a lie. A lie that was told to you by those that run the Matrix. So how do you have good relationships with others? You do it by dealing with others that respect and appreciate your checks and balances. And your boundaries. Let's say you are in a relationship with someone and you have a house. And they have a house. And you are now staying in one house together. If it were me, I wouldn't sell my house right away. When staying with someone else, I would either rent it or something. But I wouldn't let that house go. Because I would always want a place to run to if this person a few years later turned on me. You see, narcissists usually will show themselves in a handful of months. But there are those that are really skilled and might not show their true colors for a few years. And because you might not know who you're really dealing with, have an escape plan always. And that escape plan is never letting someone else control your money and your life. Keep your money separate. Oh, and you don't owe them an explanation for everything you do with your money. If you move some money from here to there, or invest in this or that, that's your business, not theirs. Let's say you meet someone and you're newly dating. And you previously were working on a settlement with a hospital for a surgery they performed on you that went wrong. Well, I wouldn't tell this new person that. I would keep it to myself. And if all of a sudden you were given a check for $200,000 because of this, I would deposit it and not say a word. Why? Because they are people. They are flawed. And you don't know them like that. Now, of course, if you've been with this person for many years, and you are convinced they are healthy, sure, you can share that with them. But at the end of the day, it's up to you what you do with that money. And it goes into your account. Not some joint account you have with your spouse. Because it's not their money. It's yours. And trust me, you will notice people will treat you very good when they know you don't need to be with them. But you choose to be with them. When they know you can not only escape, but can just walk away from them if they treat you bad. Good people will see this in you. And respect it. But that's not what we are taught. We are taught. The only way you can prove you are truly romantic is if you give the person you are with the license to ruin your life if they so choose to do so. And you just have to pray and hope they don't. I talk to both men and women all the time. And get messages here on YouTube from them as they are just stuck. And I feel so bad for them. And it's always the same thing for both the men and women. They are stuck because of a house that's in both of their names. Or stuck because of money the toxic one now controls that really belongs to the victim. And they just don't appear to have a way out. And what I say is, we all must learn from this. It's perfectly okay if you never want to sign another document binding yourself to another person again. Because who would blame you? You're not paranoid. You were just a person that was raked over the coals time and time again, and you have no more energy to ever do it one more time. Now, that being said, is it possible for a past victim to have a good healthy relationship? Yes. It sure is. You just have one based on boundaries and having an out anytime you feel like you are being abused. It's sad it has to be like this. But we are living in the post-MTV age, where using someone is seen as normal. And the victim just should have known better. Too bad, so sad. And someone that is healthy and has a heart will get it. Even if they haven't been raised in a narcissistically abusive home. They can look around themselves. They can read the news. And they know it's getting worse and worse out there. So if you want to protect yourself, someone that has a good heart will be okay with you doing so. And won't try to pressure you otherwise. Remember, the best escape plan is never let someone control your life. Make sure you are responsible for yourself. And try to avoid needing someone to rescue you. Or take charge of your destiny. Because when they do that, they can take you down a road that's best for them, but not best for you. The best escape plan is self-sufficiency and self-reliance. And like I said, narcissists and toxic people will see this in you and try to convince you that you must rely on them. When they try to do that to you, get the heck away from them. It's a trick and a trap. It's a trap they want you to fall into because they know you will have a hard time wiggling free. Now, what type of escape plan do you develop when you're knee-deep in the middle of narcissistic abuse? What do you do when you are legally entangled? Well, though every situation is different, and there's no one-size-fits-all advice, the best thing you can do is learn how to play the game and survive. This is why I made videos about not confronting the narcissist. And majority of the viewers understood the video's meaning. But there were a few comments here and there saying, "No way. Take them straight on." And things of this nature. And it's easier said than done. Especially when someone has complete control over your money, your property, and your children. Because when you confront a narcissist that has this kind of power over you, it will make the abuse in most cases worse. And accelerate them discarding you to their financial benefit. What most people that are in this situation should do is figure out a way to slow things down a bit. Use whatever tactics are there and available to minimize interactions and abuse. Even if that means pretending to like this evil person. All the while you are talking to professional and legal experts that can direct you how you can get your name off of this or that. How you can get your house back in your name. And hey, you might have to trick the narcissist into doing certain things to get your freedom. And it's all a part of playing the game. Because if you go to a narcissist and say, "I know what you are. And you're not going to do this to me anymore." And so forth and so on. They more than likely will slam dunk your life, your money, and you kids. As I've mentioned before, escaping a narcissist is like being a prisoner of war. Now, if you were a prisoner of war, would you confront the guard? Tell them what you thought about them? And that you're going to escape in a tunnel you dug in your cell on Thursday at 8 p.m. when all the guards are playing cards? No, you wouldn't. You would lie your butt off. And say and do whatever you had to. And I'm not condoning lying. Because lying isn't good. However, ask yourself a question. If some bad people came into your house and wanted to know if you were alone, and you had your children hiding in the closet, would you lie and say you're alone? Or would you, for the sake of honesty, tell these bad people your children are in the closet? Dealing with a narcissist is the same way. You might have to omit the truth much like they do, and lie much like they do in order to give yourself enough room to get a plan together and execute said plan. And what I tell those that ask me about escaping when you're entrapped like this, that they take escaping seriously. It should be on their mind all the time. And they must be looking for each and every chance to get out. Now, one thing I think that will help out both men and women, but especially men. And I will tell you why. It's get a video of what has happened. Because trust me, it's a lot easier to get a divorce on your terms and you coming out the winner if you can prove you are really being abused. Now, not all narcissists are physically abusive. But once a narcissist really feels you are trapped and can't get away from them, they can and often do escalate things with physical violence. Because narcissists are always about getting their supply. And just like any junkie, they need more and more powerful drugs to get the same feeling. So that's why things may turn to them physically abusing you. And though both men and women are abused alike, men in our society aren't believed to be abuse victims. Well, let me tell you what, people. Both men and women. But listen up extra carefully, men. If you have video of your spouse physically assaulting you, and you're doing nothing wrong at all, call the cops on them. Because it's going to be a lot easier for you to get out of a relationship or marriage when this person is sitting in jail, and taking plea deals, and going to anger management, as opposed to them filing for divorce and making you look like the evil one. And I think a balance is going to happen, where at some point we'll see how clear the abuse between women and men and women are, despite mainstream media refusing to cover this or talk about it. People are videotaping this stuff, and they are getting smarter, and using this as a way to break free and get free. Don't be too proud to not use what you have. If you feel the abuse is getting worse, or their behavior is getting out of control, videotape it. Have them arrested and talk to an attorney. You see, the key to escaping most narcissists is let the narcissist be the narcissist. When they feel they have complete domination over you, the narcissist will do some crazy things. They will text all kinds of threats. They will leave crazy voicemails. And they might try to beat you. Narcissists are so used to being able to do this stuff and there's no proof. They can pretend you're the crazy one and it's all in your head. But more and more the power of video is saving lives and getting people out of and away from toxic evil reptiles. So take your escape seriously. Do whatever you need to do that's legal to get away from these entities. Then moving forward, is it okay to meet someone that you think is kind, and over time you develop trust for them? Yes, it is. And it's totally possible. But that trust should go no more than 90 to 95%. Remember, this person isn't perfect like the Most High God. They are flawed, and them having complete control over your life can spell trouble. Now when I say 90 to 95% trust, this doesn't equate to 90 to 95% control. I just mean, you feel this person is on your side, and you can relax in front of them. And you know if you left a $20 bill on the dresser, they won't steal it. And that if you were sick, they would be there for you as much as you would do the same for them. But what this also means is, you're not going to let them control you and your life. That 5% allows you to think clearly, and not get taken off guard if you see something wrong. And you can either implement a check and balance to make the relationship continue to work, or if it's bad enough for you to leave, you can do so with all your money, mind, body, and soul intact. Well, that's all I have for you today. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Because the more we know, the more we can lead happy and healthy lives. Until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.